everybody, and welcome to fabulous Hall 1 here at King's Place in London, Administrative HQ of London Sinfonietta, who warmly welcome you to today's episode of World Premiere Wednesday. It's the last of this current series, part of the series of banging lockdown live events brought to you lot at home by the ensemble's world-class musicians. Brand new music online. How amazing is that? So we've just passed the summer solstice, and along with the sun, spirits are starting to rise a little bit with the prospect of our masks being able to come off here in the UK. And concert going and live performances is still cautiously stretching its legs. Hope is there in the air. Now, we've got an absolutely fantastic show lined up for you today with two pieces by a couple of truly gifted British composers who have had long-term associations with London Sinfonietta. Now, firstly, you're going to hear a brand new piece by the wonderful Hannah Kendall, whose star has been soaring these past couple of years. Her music aired worldwide, music that, to quote her website, I hope she doesn't mind me doing that, just says it bridges gaps between different musical cultures, both honouring and questioning the contemporary tradition while telling new stories through it. And then we're going to hear another new-ish piece from 2017 by Edward Nesbit, and that's going to be for solo piano. And Ed Nesbit is a lecturer in composition at King's University in London. He's a highly respected, well-established composer whose music has been played by some of the world's finest orchestras and ensembles. His music has been described as keenly imagined and fertile, and that he is his own man writing with virtuosic confidence and clarity. Top review there for Ed. Now, our performers today, patiently waiting in the wings, are Sinfonietta's wonderful principal violinist, Jonathan Morton, who's a creative force in his own right as artistic director of the Scottish Ensemble, a truly wonderful violinist and all-round artist. And to play the piano piece, you're going to hear Hebba Benyaghla, who is a member of the London Sinfonietta's Academy scheme. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that later. But first, before we hear today's musicians, and we're going to be talking about the music as well as the performances themselves, if you haven't clocked it already, there's a live chat window right there below your screen, and we would absolutely love it if you can send in your comments and any questions you might have, preferably constructive, throughout the show. And there will be a dedicated Q&A moment after the performance of each piece where you can put your questions to our composer and performers today. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. Now, as always, London Sinfonietta is hugely grateful to the Arts Council, who continue to underpin so much of what it does, and to the trusts, individuals and sponsors who support the ensemble's work. And in particular today, we'd like to thank Stephen Morris, who supported Ed's piece, and also to Robert McFarland for his kind support of Hannah Kendall's new piece. Now, in order for the ensemble to keep going during these still pandemic-restricted times, you're asked if you might feel that you can help. Any donation, no matter what size, is hugely gratefully received. Whether it's the price of a double espresso, a concert ticket, or perhaps a month's stay in the penthouse at the Ritz, all gratefully received. And in order to do that, pop along to the Sinfonietta website, londonsinfonietta.org.uk. And there's a load of really cool stuff on the website, by the way, podcasts, interviews, what's on, and ways that you could get involved with some of the ensemble's very interesting current activities. Thank you so much in advance for any donations. So, enough of this pre-show admin. We're going to start off the performance with this brand new piece by Hannah Kendall with the title Tuxedo, Crown, Sun King, and it's for violin, voice, and 5 music boxes. Here to perform this world premiere, John Morton. congratulations to Jonathan Morton on that amazing performance, the world premiere of Tuxedo Crowned Sun King by Hannah Kendall, who's making her way to the stage right now. Many congratulations. Hannah, how is it feeling to have a world premiere in... Well, I'm seeing you in person and not with a Zoom box, both of you.
I know, it's great to be here in person, and that's such a phenomenal performance, and it was really great to be here because it was just, you know, I've been envisaging the piece for so long, you know, obviously not in real life, and seeing all the music boxes and Jonathan, you know, really get into it. It's just great to be here, so yeah.
An amazing performance, John. Yeah. Thank you so, so much. I mean, it's always strange when we don't have a physical audience present, but it's so wonderful knowing that you lot are here. Hannah, this piece is off its face. Yeah. Tell us about everything. How did the piece come about? What's behind it?
Well, a couple of years ago, I saw Jean-Michel Basquiat's Tuxedo in New York, where I live, at the Guggenheim, and I was just completely taken by it. I was there for over 2 hours just looking at this one piece, and it's inspired a series of pieces, really. So this is the third in a series of I don't know how many pieces of Tuxedo pieces. Can
I just interrupt very briefly, just in case you don't know it at home? Tuxedo, I mean, it's a large piece, isn't it? And it's a silk screen print.
Yeah.
And it's in black and white, with it's basically texts.
Yeah, exactly.
With a big crown at the top.
Yeah.
And just, sorry, I'm going to let you talk about it, but just in case the viewers don't know it. Yeah. And Jean-Michel Basquiat, he was born in 1960. He died at the age of 27, and he was in New York, a neo-expressionist part of the early punk rap street art thing. Okay, enough of me doing it. Just so that we're all on the same page.
No, that's a great description. So it's a piece of artwork that's larger than you or I, and it's and a series of texts. So he writes down his thoughts or references to a whole host of things, and it's actually a collection of 16 different prints that he put together, and the crown was his symbol, really, because he was interested in majesty, specifically to do with the African diaspora and the rise of that and majesty and the quality and all of those things.
So that title, Tuxedo, by the way, John, I'm dying to ask you about all the violin stuff in just a second. We're going to come to you. But that title, Tuxedo, it also is very rich in associations, both with the privileged and wealth. For me personally, I think black and white. When I see that, crown is a political statement. It could be, he was interested in, what do you call it, in opposites. Black, white, integration, segregation, privilege, poverty,
exactly.
All of those things.
And I think that's what the whole notion of tuxedo means, and the quality of the material and the garment itself and what that's associated with. And then obviously crown as well. And the way that I've interwoven it into the piece is, thinking of hair as a crown, and hence why there is dreadlock cuffs involved in the piece to do with hair. So maybe
I think we need to see this. So dreadlock cuff on a violin. Is this a first for you, John?
It is for me. I don't know if it is for you, Hannah. But yes, so there's I don't know if Adam can zoom into to this little detail here, but yeah, it's a very small cuff that you use for dreadlocks that you just wrap round the middle two strings, and to create this very unusual, unstable sound that I'm sure you can say something about.
Can you just demonstrate a little bit? So what effect does that have on the instrument?
Well, it completely makes it unpredictable, and almost like, I don't know, multiphonics or something, you get,
So I immediately am thinking, with all these effects, it relates to the graffiti nature of Basquiat. Is that, am I somewhere on track with some of that? All these different colours? And we'll get to the music boxes.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the instability and the fact, and I suppose that does come from his, you know, his graffiti and his text, that you can read one thing and not know where you might end up, which I think will happen, which happens with the sound, and that was completely what I was going for. And also the fact is, I'm trying to combine the Afrological and the Eurological, really, and the fact that something that's so specific and associated with Afro hair is wrapped around this very Western instrument is something that I was going for, and, you know, just trying to blend things together and mix up the space and sort of mix up the idea of what a piece for solo violin might be. So
now, you're a violinist yourself, so it's really obvious that you know about string techniques. John, can you just talk us through some of the techniques that you're using in that piece?
Yes, I mean, obviously wrapping the cuffs around the middle strings does immediately create this kind of very extraordinary sounds that, as Hannah said, are unpredictable and you can't really control them. So as a performer, it's kind of, you have to let go of trying to control it. What comes out, which is, I mean, I love that. But of course, half of the instrument, the outer two strings are left untouched. So you do have kind of two instruments. There's the instrument of, and then you know, the traditional violin sound. So, but then Hannah also asked me to whisper and sing. So, you know, there's a kind of a lot of coordination going on. Some of the, maybe I can just talk about, at the end of the piece, you heard these very insect-like sounds. I think that's how you, which is just, you know, using the back of the bow, varying the position on the fingerboard. Hannah also asked me to sort of use both my nails and my left hand. There's this kind of stuff. And are there things that I've missed out? I mean, there's...
that's the bulk of it, singing, you know,
yeah, the whispering, the kind of coordination, and then remembering how many times to wind up the music boxes so that the timing is all correct. You know, there's a lot going on.
Before we talk about the music boxes, which I'm dying to know more about, I just have to say, hats off for your singing. You've clearly got perfect pitch. Sounds like it.
Yes, but actually...
Bang on!
Yeah, but Hannah writes it really well, so she helps by often matching what you're singing with what you're playing at the beginning, at least, so you can kind of get into that zone. And then it sort of splits, and then you have to kind of work a little bit harder.
So do the texts mean anything, or are they scribble, or...?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. There's a spiritual where it talks about going down to the river to pray, and I've taken words from that, really. So some of the sections are named after lines from that spiritual. So when Jonathan says, "Oh sister," at some point that's a line from the spiritual. But also I wanted to give this idea of, I suppose, this sort of tapping into the spiritual somehow, as in sort of a spiritual realm rather than spiritual, the song. And so at times it might sound like speaking or singing in tongues, for example. So, so yeah, I think, there is a lot going on, really. But,
I mean, this is the case with a lot of your work, that deeply embedded into the very fabric of what you write is something which is a passionate statement or political belief, or, as you say, a spiritual, something that has great intrinsic meaning for you, which is buried in the texture to be discovered.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many layers going on, and it's difficult to, maybe articulate it in a program note. But certainly there are, multi-faceted things going on, and with that have different meanings and inspiration. So yeah.
So music boxes.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about the music boxes. What a great combo.
It sort of morphed into this. It started off with I was using hand-cranked music boxes, and so in the other Tuxedo pieces, and so I just wanted to experiment with how far I could push that, and I think it's mostly about mixing up the space, and I liked how a piece for solo violin wouldn't actually start with the violin, and you know what that might be, what it might be like if it was with a whole bunch of music boxes, and all the tunes mean, again, they mean specific things. So, for example, Ode to Joy's in there, so quintessential Beethoven, very famous tune, and again, it's just sort of using polarization of having, you know, incredibly European sounds and sounds that have been distorted by something to do with the African diaspora.
And Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace is in there.
Is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Edelweiss.
Edelweiss. I'm trying not to sing them.
I can't.
You Are My Sunshine.
You Are My Sunshine. Yeah. That's it. That was the other one.
That's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, yeah, I've got my sparkly phone here to check the tube of you. Let's just see what you've all been saying. Okay, Robin, hey, you are such a loyal follower. We love you that you're here, Robin. Welcome. Sarah Dacey, yes. There's just lots of emojis of love and applause. Claire Dolding loves the musical boxes.
Great.
We all love the musical boxes. I hope they sound as good for you at home. It just sounds amazing in this hall. The acoustics here just are picking up all of the details. It's magical. Robin says, incredibly striking piece. I was trying to identify some of the tunes from the music boxes, which we've now identified for you. Managed Amazing Grace, tick, and the theme from Castle in the Sky.
Yes, that's right. Oh, we forgot. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
You're on it, Robin. Love it. Claire Dolden, Robin was one of them Ode to Joy. You're completely on it, audience. Natalie, I love the reference to singing in tongues. Yeah, really interesting. An incredible nod to the mysterious and deeply powerful language of the divine. Yeah, there's this sort of rapturous, ecstatic state that you're referring to.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that comes across, and yeah, just trying to bring everyone into that space, hopefully. So.
And Fenella Humphreys, just a load of heart emojis. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a very, very powerful piece. So last thing, because I know that our pianist is patiently waiting in the wings to play, but this time now we're physically on a stage. But this is also traumatic, this slow emergence back into a hall. You're here online, the audience isn't here. I mean, how is it for you, John, this now new state of transition we're in?
I have to say, for me, this is it's a massive step forward, being, you know, on a stage and having even Hannah, just one person listening. It makes all the difference. You just need at least one person to kind of respond to and engage with, you know, as a listener and performer. So for me, this is, and I'm sure for many live performers, it's a great moment. Yes, of course, you know, we can't wait for everybody to be able to come back to the halls, but you know, it's definitely a huge step forward. It's a lot better than being at home and talking to you, Zoe, via the screen.
I know, it's the first time we've seen each other outside the Zoom boxes.
It makes such a difference, yeah.
But also there is this incredible, there's something sacred almost about these spaces dedicated to sound. And Hannah's piece really demands the best possible acoustic. It would have been hard to reproduce this in the bedroom while you're trying to keep your children off Wi-Fi.
And dogs and all this.
All of that. And Hannah, so there you are doing a doctoral fellowship at Columbia in Eastern Time via Zoom.
Oh, yeah. So I couldn't quite get back to New York, so I had to do everything 5 hours behind, I think. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
5
in the
hours,
UK.
yeah.
And I think that's why this piece sort of emerged, to be honest, because I just sort of thought, you know, constantly living in a different time zone and trying to think how, and sort of, you know, feeling out of it or jet lagged the whole time. And I think that it almost gave me the space to think, well, you know, why can't I have, you know, 5 music boxes and, you know, plus violin and, you know, combining all of these things. So, you know, in one sense, gave me the freedom to, you know, sitting at home in my, you know, in my study, thinking actually when we get back to the space, why not just completely mix it up and do things in ways that I might not have done before. So
it's very powerful and clearly deeply personal. You've dug somewhere very deep for this, and we're really grateful, Hannah. It's a very powerful piece with many strata of meanings, and it's going to be wonderful to I'm sure we'll be hearing it many times. So congratulations,
Thank
John,
you.
on that
Thank you so
amazing
much.
performance, and to Hannah, thank you so much.
Okay.
We're going to move on now to the second piece you're going to hear today, which is by Ed Nesbit, and it's called Two Lines for Solo Piano. And to play it, I'm going to welcome to the stage now Heber Ben Yagli. Heber, you're on. swap over. You come here, I'll come here. Wow, Heber, what a fantastic performance. Many congratulations. That was Edward Nesbit's 2 lines, given that incredible crystalline performance there by Heber Ben Yagli. How does it feel? We were saying earlier that a bit like Jonathan and Hannah, this is one of the first performances coming out of the whole COVID time.
Yeah, it's really bizarre actually. A lot of the performances that we've had have been pre-recorded performances. So this is like obviously live streamed, so it's a bit like, ooh.
Yeah.
People watching, although there's nobody, well, there's some people in the hall. So it's great to be able to do that.
And you've come down from Glasgow,
Yes.
right, to do this. Fantastic. So you're going to be here in London for a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow. It's actually my friend's birthday, so...
Yeah, friend's birthday.
Yeah, so I think we'll have a little celebration and then back up to Glasgow, yeah.
Now, Heber, you're a member of the Sinfonietta's Academy scheme. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah,
what you've been up to?
Well, I actually auditioned for it last year, and then it was supposed to take place last summer, and then obviously everything shut down. So luckily it was postponed, so we're coming back down in July to get together and play some music, which will be great because real people in person and not over video. So yeah, I'm really excited to play for the Academy this year.
And the idea of the Academy is that you get to work alongside members of Sinfonietta.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like mentoring, but also performing.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Monday night, actually, I had a lesson with the previous pianist, John Constable, which was absolutely fabulous. So he gave me lots of top tips. So I think I'll be seeing him again in July. And then we'll also get together with all the other players as well. And I think they have been doing some side-by-side things with the different sections too. So excited to see what will happen.
Many congratulations being on this scheme. It's just wonderful. And before you applied for this, did you have any particular interest in contemporary music, or has your enthusiasm now been sharpened?
Yeah, I think during my studies, so I studied at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a sort of a big emphasis on just doing anything and everything really. So I sort of ended up, a lot of my friends just happened to be composers as well, so you just sort of get roped into things as well. So yeah, I think that's where my love of contemporary music stemmed really.
Oh, good for you. I mean, that's the best thing if you're working with live composers. Although, yeah, I can imagine they're jumping. Yes, we've got a pianist who's prepared to play my weird stuff. Yeah. Oh, how brilliant. Let's talk a little bit about this piece that you've just played, 2 lines.
Yes.
So the title, I mean, Ed is very clever, isn't he? There's a scheme that is built into that title in the notes themselves. So what happens between left and right hand there in that piece?
Well, it sounds, I think actually it's quite fiddly and trickier to play than it sounds maybe, or I don't know, but basically the left hand has the rhythm, the bum, ba-bum, 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 and the right hand basically has ba-bum, 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 like in between the left hand notes. So it's, yeah, when I first saw it, it was a bit of coordination involved. But yeah, so basically that line continues. So, and he's also basically just used A flat major chord all the way through in the left hand.
That's in the left?
Yep, and in the right hand we have this sort of, actually if you play the right hand on its own, it sounds a little bit like some sort of like Scottish folk song maybe actually. So yeah, we've got those 2 parts, and then sometimes they interact with each other. So the right hand will go over the left hand as well and you kind of have to keep that rhythm going.
So it's really a brain cruncher, actually.
Definitely. Yeah, and I was thinking of how I was going to turn pages today as well. So I bought last week a pedal. So that was another sort of and I think some people are very used to using them now, but that was another sort of factor
that's
as well.
a milestone. It's when you just have to trust in fate the first time you use an iPad pedal in a gig. Well done for doing that.
Yeah.
And for a pianist, that's tricky. Especially, well, you didn't have to use the pedal, the other normal piano pedal much for this, did you?
Well, I think most people put it next to the Unicorda, and I was using that, so it was like kind of double double trouble there, but...
The whole iPad pedal thing is great until it isn't.
Yeah. So we had a few malfunctions during the week, but I think, just fingers crossed. But
it'd be great when the technology expands to a point where we can kind of like wink or, I don't know, or just even intend, and then the pages just turn in a hologram or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think there is now like a sort of motion detector thing with the newer iPads where you can, I think you either turn your head or you like move your mouth and it turns the page.
That is fraught with potential disasters. Like if you sneeze and then you turn over 10 pages at once.
Yeah, I know. So...
just one last thing about Ed's piece, because it's so clever, is this idea, 2 lines is the title, so the 2 lines refer to, as you were so well describing, the left hand and the right hand doing their independent things. But actually, of course, it sounds like 1 line. And but it's also interesting with the harmony, you've got this A-flat chord, but the right hand's job is to try and put the harmony off, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a sort of,
Yeah, so there's some so most of the way through it's like that, where we've got the 2 sort of, I guess, juxtaposed parts, and then occasionally where the bump, bum, 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 the right hand sort of lines up with the left hand and the harmony. So it kind of strays away and then comes back to the A-flat major centre and then goes somewhere else again.
Well, I hope you're going to be performing that a lot, because you've absolutely nailed it, and it's a very, very cool piece. It's also a cool piece to put in a programme. That would fit in all kinds of ways. So congratulations, Ed, if you're watching it. We love your piece. Hang on, let's see what the tube of you has to say. iPad and iPhone, it's technology. Hang on, let's look. Annabelle Wilkins. Thank you for tuning in, Annabelle. She says, excellent performance. It really was. Katie Forrest, congratulations to both Edward and Heber. What a wonderful, unique piece. The ease with which Heber plays is brilliant. Really, it's, we love you. We really do. Claire Dolding, bravo, yes. HF Corlett. Loads of clapping emojis. I can see clapping emojis all over this chat. Robin's back. Very beguiling piece. It is. Absolutely right. And, here's Ed Nesbit. You're there. Thank you for such an excellent performance, Heber.
Hi, Ed.
Yes, so the composer is out there. You can never hide. They're always there somewhere. Claire has said, bravo, Edward. It's incredible how intriguing those little breaks become amongst otherwise fairly continuous 2 lines. Yeah, it's sort of almost hypnotic the way that happens. And Ed's thanking everyone for all their praise. So great that you're here. And just to say thank you once again that 2 lines, the commission was supported by Stephen Morris. Thank you so much, Stephen. And Judy Nesbit, more clapping hand emojis. So basically, massive thumbs up. Bravo, Heber.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I think we've run out of time. So that's bringing us to the end of today's show, and indeed the end of this particular series of World Premiere Wednesdays. Huge congratulations to today's performers, Jonathan Morton, and to Hebba Benyaghla for their wonderful playing, and to our composers, Hannah Kendall, for that astounding new piece, and to Ed Nesbit for that beautiful piece for piano. Thank you, all of you. Now, if you're in the mood, people, right here in King's Place this very evening at 8 p.m, both in person here in the hall and live on YouTube, you can join me for a very, very special performance event, which is called Notes About Now. Jonathan Morton's going to be playing. And it's featuring live poetry readings and a set of brand new songs, that's settings of the poetry, by 4 fabulous composers. Larry Gove, Kerry Andrew, Robert Mitchell and Gavin Higgins, who have been commissioned by London Sinfonietta to set the poems written in special projects curated by Poet in the City in collaboration with different communities just before and in the recent months of the pandemic. It's a very, very interesting show, so do tune in later. And just last little thing, the next in-person concert is happening July the 9th at the South Bank Centre. I shouldn't say the definite article, South Bank Centre, and it's a bicycle-powered new piece literally bicycle-powered, for soprano and ensemble by provocatrice composer Laura Bowler, her theatrical response to the climate crisis. So that's it for now. Thank all of you so much for joining today. Your presence is incredibly important to us. Thank you for tuning in. So from all of us here at King's Place today, thank you, goodbye, be well.